Welcome. This week, based off of student feedback in class, I created a lesson for the eighth graders about the 8 rules for determining gender. And this includes some slides that we had had in previous classes based off of the work that they were doing with food and describing food with colors and other descriptions. So let's take a look. Before we delve into this, I want to mention a couple things. So first thing, why this is so challenging. Every noun has a gender. So as you well know, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. Every noun in Spanish has a specific article that tells you what the gender is. So there are some rules. For example, we'll talk about this in a little bit of time. But usually words that end in O are going to be masculine. Words that end in A are going to be female. However, this rule gets complicated very quickly, but I'm going to show you a couple slides to indicate what are the definite articles and the indefinite articles and to explain them a little more. But before we do, here are the first rules that I hope that most people are leaving with. It is that for living creatures, this is usually easier than objects to begin with. Nouns that end in O are going to be masculine. So we can see this here with gato, perro, chico, el oso. And note that they all have in front of them the word el. So this is the indefinite pronoun for the masculine and singular for the. Now, when we're speaking about living creatures that are female, these nouns are going to end in an A and they're going to be feminine. So as you saw beforehand, el gato, but now we're going to describe it as la gata or la chica for the girl. So a lot of great words in Spanish. Once you drop the O, you instantly make it, and add an A, you make it feminine, and it changes the meaning. But once you learn niño or chico, you automatically know that that's boy, and then you know girl. However, here's the thing that gets complicated. It's objects. Objects also have gender. Now, why is a table, mesa, feminine? It's because it ends in A. But la corbata, why is a necktie? Because men usually wear it. Why is that female? Because it ends in A. Or el maquillaje. Men usually don't wear makeup. I mean, some do, especially for performing arts, but not usually. So why is that female? Why is that male? So here are the rules. I showed this to students in seventh and eighth grade. The in English is the, no matter whether it is masculine or a feminine word. So the boy or the girl, and the boy or the girl, the girls or the boys, singular or plural, it doesn't change. The is the. However, in Spanish, because we have both masculine and feminine and singular and plural, you're going to see el, that is going to be for masculine and singular. La, for, excuse me, feminine and singular. And then plurals, when we add the S, we're going to switch them over. So los gatos. Think about the fact that Los Angeles, the city of angels, or the Fertile Plains, the city in Nevada, which isn't Fertile Plains, but a lot of gambling casinos, is Las Vegas. So Las is going to be feminine and plural. Now, an indefinite article is a little bit trickier, but this is usually when we say the, we're pointing to something specific. With a or an, we're going to change it to an when it is a vowel in English. So I have an idea. So when it is singular and masculine, it's going to be un gato. When it's singular and feminine, it's going to be un gata. Now, in English, we do have an indefinite article. We just usually don't think about it as an indefinite article. So, some. So I saw some cats. Veo unos gatos or unas gatas. So when it has an S at the end of the word to indicate it's plural, we had to add an S at the end for indefinite articles. And we need to do the same thing with adjectives. Now, note that one, adjectives go usually after the noun. So we have here a pretty cat, un gato bonito, or una gata bonita, unos gatos bonitos, and unas gatas bonitas. So all three, article, noun, and adjective, have to match for gender. Here's one rule that got some people upset. When a group of nouns are mixed gender. So let's talk about the fact that in a classroom we have both male and female students. The group is always going to be referred to as the masculine, even when the number of boys and girls is quite disproportionate. It doesn't matter the ratio. As you can see here, one boy and four girls, we're going to refer to them as the five children, but it's going to come out as niños, so the masculine. Also, so you know, and this was a great question, if you do say las abuelas, so if you say the grandparent, the grandmothers, when it's feminine at the end, I'm going to immediately associate it with the grandmothers. But if it's los abuelos, that could be both the grandfathers or it could be the grandparents or el padre, the dad. Los padres could be parents. Now, rule four, there are some words that end in a consonant, such as el profesor or el doctor. And to make it feminine, we're going to change the article to the feminine, and then we're going to tag on an A. So el profesor is the male professor, but la profesora is going to be the female professor. El doctor or la doctora. Doctora. Rule number five is some professions, such as pilot, soldier, model, and poet, are going to not change their endings from O to A or vice versa. What we're going to change is the article. I don't know why we do this, but it's unfortunately the way it is. So I'm going to draw students' attention and consistently remind them to pay attention to this when we do encounter these words. Now, a lot of words are coming from Latin, and as far as I understand, this may be one of the reasons why they one exist both in English and Spanish, but are so difficult. So these words sion, dad, and tude, and umbre, when words end in this, they are going to be feminine. Now, a lot of words that come from Greek end in M in English, problem, theme, enigma. So these words are going to stay MA and they're going to remain masculine. So here's a joke. It says the problems are masculine, but the solutions are feminine. So los problemas son masculinos, pero las soluciones son femeninas. And this is a joke that I've heard many teachers make to help students to remember this is the rule in Spanish to remember these irregular nouns that have different genders. And the last rule is quite frankly, there's a lot of words that end in a. There are certain words such as the day, the map, the planet. Um, because we have them probably from Greek or Latin, they are also going to remain slightly irregular when it comes to rules for gender. This is one of the things I'm going to point out to students. And then some words such as la foto, um, la moto. This is because they actually come from larger words that have been kind of cut in half. So la fotografía, as you can hear at the end, the fia would make it feminine, or la motocicleta. However, when they're shorter, they're going to have the regular nouns. So thank you very much, and I hope this helped.